Governments profoundly shape market dynamics. Through an intricate web of policies, regulations, and direct interventions, their influence is pervasive, touching every aspect of economic activity from production and consumption to trade and investment. This explores the multifaceted ways in which states steer markets, often with far-reaching consequences for businesses, consumers, and the broader economy. Fiscal policy represents a primary lever of government influence. It involves decisions about government spending and taxation. When governments increase spending, for example on infrastructure projects or social programs, they inject money into the economy, stimulating demand and creating jobs. Conversely, raising taxes can dampen consumer spending and business investment. By adjusting these two variables, governments can attempt to manage economic growth, control inflation, and reduce unemployment. A delicate balance is always sought to avoid overheating or stifling the economy. Policy primarily managed by central banks acts as another critical instrument. It involves controlling the money supply and credit conditions through tools like interest rates, reserve requirements, and open market operations. Lowering interest rates makes borrowing cheaper, encouraging businesses to invest and consumers to spend, thereby boosting economic activity. Conversely, raising interest rates can curb inflation by making borrowing more expensive and slowing down the economy. The independence of central banks is often debated regarding their freedom from political interference. Governments establish and enforce a vast array of regulations that dictate how businesses operate. These regulations cover areas such as environmental protection, labor standards, product safety, and financial markets. While regulations aim to protect consumers, workers, and the environment, they can also impose compliance costs on businesses and potentially stifle innovation. Conversely, deregulation involves reducing or removing these rules, often with the goal of stimulating economic growth and competition. Striking the right balance between necessary oversight and burdensome restrictions is a constant challenge for policymakers. Trade policy directly impacts international markets and domestic industries. Governments employ various tools, including tariffs, quotas, subsidies, and trade agreements. Tariffs, taxes on imported goods, make foreign products more expensive, protecting domestic industries from competition. However, they can also lead to higher prices for consumers and retaliatory measures from other countries. Trade agreements aim to reduce barriers to trade, fostering greater economic integration and expanding market access for businesses. In some cases, governments directly participate in markets through state-owned enterprises, SOEs, or by intervening in specific industries. SOEs can operate in strategic sectors like energy, telecommunications, or transportation, influencing pricing, investment, and employment decisions. Governments might also provide subsidies or bailouts to struggling industries or companies deemed strategically important. These interventions can support specific sectors, but also raise concerns about fair competition and market distortions. Governments often intervene to correct market failures, situations where free markets alone fail to allocate resources efficiently. Examples include externalities, like pollution, where the cost is borne by society, not just the polluter, or public goods, like national defense, which are non-excludable and non-rivalrous. In such instances, government intervention through taxes, subsidies, regulations, or direct provision can improve overall societal welfare. However, assessing the effectiveness and potential unintended consequences of such interventions is